Dover wasn't just a chaotic weekend, it was a perfect storm. When the skies opened and blew the field into stoppage after stoppage, many saw a wild race. What few realized was, this was more than just high-speed wreckage and dramatic double overtimes. It was an exposed nerve ending in NASCAR. Dover pulled the curtain on a sport rattling with internal conflict. It wasn't just a single accident, radio outburst, or emotional tweet. It was years of underlying tension erupting at once, broadcast live for anyone paying attention. In the garages and pit stalls, the mood changed. You could sense it. Quieter than normal radio chatter, more intense focus in wheel wells, razor-sharp attention at every restart. It was like the pit box doors suddenly swung shut on a sport that's usually about moving forward. There was strategic positioning for leverage, unfiltered commentary about gripes, and social media storm clouds curdling up overnight. Dover didn't just disrupt the schedule, it cracked the Mendoza line of NASCAR politics. Nobody escaped unscathed. Rookies felt the pressure, veterans sharpened their claws, and even team owners like Denny Hamlin felt the walls closing in. Kyle Busch blew open the storyline when he stepped into the media center and laid out what was rapidly becoming the spark everyone was waiting for: NASCAR's reliance on the new rear-view camera system. It sounds small on paper, but in a sport measured in thousandths of a second, it's monumental. Busch's remark was razor simple. If you're using that camera, don't use a spotter. You can't have both. In a world where assists and telemetry are already baked in, Busch was sounding a primal alarm bell. Are we watching instinct and skill, or are we now watching drivers blend data, video, and communications until no one wins without a $150,000 cockpit rig? Busch's point cut across generational lines with a flashlight beam. Follow the machine or trust your crewmate. Choose your lane. Then Dale Earnhardt Jr. stoked the fire. His public affirmation on social channels turned that pile of tinder into roaring wildfire. Suddenly, Busch's angle wasn't just one driver's gripe. It became the flashpoint for what could be a league-defining debate. Instinct versus assist, intuition versus instrumentation, live racing versus lens-enhanced control. Meanwhile, Ross Chastain, a master of calculated havoc, entered the fray. The Chastain double act began with a clash at Sonoma. He tangled with teammate Daniel Suarez and tried to spin it into an accident. The narrative didn't hold. Suarez and fans smelled dodge, and anger flickered in private crew discussions. Then Dover arrived with more fireworks. Chastain lunged on Ricky Stenhouse Jr., whose composure doesn't trip easily. In fact, Stenhouse's spotter practically blew Chastain's push off the table when he warned it on air. He's 2 laps down. This is your trap. That warning wasn't racecraft, it was hatched conflict. It didn't explode into physical violence this lap, but with the engines still running, it was only a matter of time. In the middle of it all crouched Denny Hamlin, driver, owner, and emotion-laden strategist. He scored his 58th Cup win in double overtime. He fought for every inch against Chase Briscoe. That should have been the moment of victory. Instead, Hamlin delivered a radio slice at Ty Dillon.
Briscoe is there, but not going to be able to pounce. Denny does it again. He's got the Dover hat trick.
The hard way. I like it, man. Way too freaking tight, brother. Way to do it.
I'm burning my stuff up with this clown. He's running me into the dirt. A dam broke. That wasn't just in-race heat. That was strategy stress, ownership exposure, and professional angst all pitched into an emotional meltdown. Hamlin's quiet face on the podium masked a deeper tremor. His team, 23XI Racing, is fighting for its future. Charter uncertainty for 2025 looms large. Tyler Reddick's contract is up, and it might not be renewed. When pressed at Dover about his team's future tilt, Hamlin offered nothing but silence. That freeze frame of Hamlin's expression said more than any press release ever could. The pressure is real. The cracks are visible. The weather added another layer to the drama. Rain halted the cars, but not the tension. For over an hour, engines were off, but every heart, tire bubble, and internal crew radio buzz told a story of pent-up strategy and adrenaline freeze. When the skies cleared, drivers emerged to 8 final laps that felt like 2 hours. The pit strategies were cliffs to be scaled or crashed off of. Tyler Reddick and Chase Briscoe chose fresh tires, stakes charged, gamble and go big time. On green, Christopher Bell spun out after crashing into Hamlin. William Byron got tangled with Noah Gragson, and it spilled into overtime.
Way across the track. This is going to be fun.
Bell and Hamlin side by side. Oh, he gets loose. There goes Bell again.
Caution, caution. Big wreck behind you.
In overtime, round 1, the field showed its aggression. Round 2 tightened the screws. Briscoe charged from P4 to P2 in heart-stopping moves. Tap, door to door. He looked unstoppable, but Hamlin took a deep breath and pulled back the choke chain. He dug down, found that veteran vault, and broke clear. Another win for Hamlin, but the celebration was quiet, contained, reflective. He beat Briscoe, but he didn't look like a man walking away from victory. He seemed defensive, tense, taxed. Then the $1 million tournament plotline dropped the ultimate narrative twist. Ty Gibbs versus Ty Dillon. Same Dillon Hamlin radio burned mid-race. Dillon, a midfield figure, blasted into primetime spotlight with a pro-contender bracket full of eyes and empty textbooks. From hindrance to highlight, racing reality outpaced storylines. Dover showed us more than tricks of driving manship. It showed generational divides, tech tension, and class disruptions. New talent like Gibbs, Briscoe, Reddick are challenging the gatekeepers. Veterans and owners are scrambling for game adaptation. And NASCAR's central leadership is caught in the flashlights. Old-school purists versus data-driven defenders. Front office executives wielding rulebooks against helmet-wearing mutineers on track. Spotters acting like tactical advisors. Cameras lining the crucial seconds. Rivalries stitched across silence and competition. This isn't just racing going off track, it's racing becoming its own history lesson. Dover wasn't a bump in the road, it was the fault line where legacy cracks into tomorrow. Those points are just the apex. The full arc of this narrative begs more questions than it answers, and we're only at turn 25 of 36 in the season. What remains is crucial. Who watches the watchman? Should racing revert to analog instincts or fully tech-fueled precision? Is Chastain driving chaos or playing chess on asphalt? And can Hamlin save the future, or is he at the inside of his own corner? Now's your turn. Should NASCAR strip standalone rearview cameras? Raise your hands. Will you pick instinct or intel? Was Chastain playing savage or strategic? Or is pacifist Ty Dillon the new icon in a world trained to mock him? Let Dover be the signpost. Because under all those echoes of start your engines, the real engine is churning behind the screen. This isn't over. The real race has just begun.